As we drive away into the sunset Friday night, the drama at TriMet is just unfolding. There's never an end to crazy drama around here, boy. Everybody's still kind of shocked over the baby thing and the penalty, and 37 complaints she had, 37 customer complaints and 5 on the road complaints. 37 in 1 year. Now let's think about that for a minute. So the management's all like, you know, oh, we're gonna have our we're gonna have some more quality assurance riders to go spy on our drivers, and we're gonna add that to our bus certification class. Why isn't, you know, if an operator has 37 complaints, why is it that she's not already being in retraining? That's what we want to know. Is where are you, management? Are you totally asleep at the wheel? Do you do anything over there? I mean, you know, she had 37 complaints, so you just let that go on, huh? That's your management. See, this is what I'm talking about with our management. They hired her, they trained her, they realized she was a problem, but they didn't do anything about it. And so there you go, folks. So you see, I'm always back to the management who's always trying to blame us, when in reality it's the management itself that created the problem. It's the management. They're the ones that should hit the door, okay? Because they're the ones that created this problem. It's their responsibility that people like that are here, even, okay? And if they got 37 complaints to their name and they haven't been retrained yet, well, what's the matter with you? Are you that stupid? Or, you know, it's really shocking, okay? They will blame us, but there's ample evidence of a problem. And the problem got blown way out of proportion, and we've talked about this with my buddies. The only reason this problem went to this extent was because that particular operator was already disliked, okay? The people on that bus. Because the incident itself really wasn't that big of a deal. If you read the report, you'll see that she actually went out there and asked her if she wanted to get back on the bus. She never threw her off the bus. She left on her own 2 feet. Of course, you were rather shamed because, you know, if you didn't get off, the bus would never move. You're kind of you're on the spot when you're in that position. You know, it's like, unless you get off, we don't move, so everybody's looking at you. But she was not forced off the bus. But so why did the incident happen? Because the operator was so abrasive to the customers. Let's forget the word customer isn't right, because they're not customers, they're riders. You know, TriMet tries to make it sound like we're their customers. No, they're not fucking customers, they're riders, okay? They don't have a choice. A customer is somebody that has free will when they're shopping somewhere. They can go to store A or store B. But in the case of transit, there's no free choice. So they're not customers, because this is the only game in town is ours. So stop calling them customers, because that's not what they are. So the riders had been mistreated over all of, let's look at the last year, 37 complaints. So that's why the situation got out of control. Not because it was such a grave, horrible thing that happened, but because of the people that were riders on the bus had enough. And so they created this whole big stink, which made worldwide news. And the management, you know, in their usual clumsy, they're too busy with capital projects. It's capital projects here, you see. This is evidence of what I've been talking about for the last year. It's capital projects here. This place is all about building. It's not about actually transit and riders, and they don't even really want to deal with us, you know. Just like Rolf said, they don't really want to deal with us at all. But they have to have us because they pretend that they're a transit district, you know. So there's a well-known problem that's allowed to go on and on and on and on and on and on, and finally something happens, you know. And that's the result of this. Now, So who's really to blame? The operator or the management? I continue to go back to the management. Meanwhile, the management's busy disciplining me for what I'm doing at home. Okay, this is what our management does. They're looking at they're wasting time with me because somebody had feelings got hurt because I posted an over the airwave communication, and actually after they asked me to take it down, I did. They still did it. Although you can understand that part of what they did, I think they think in their mind, well, thank God we disciplined him from posting that call because he would have posted the call. Well, first of all, I would have posted the call if I wanted to. I don't have to be the one to do it. Somebody else could have leaked that over. I could have just had somebody else do it. But I didn't do that because I knew that it was the wrong thing to do in this case. I'm not going to leak the identity of a person. You know, I'm basically going against my own person. I didn't do that. I thought the dispatch call helped her position. That's why I released a transcript of it. But the management's going, oh, see, luckily we disciplined him because he might have released a dispatch call. No, I wouldn't have, because I know what I'm doing. I don't do things to hurt people. I'm not trying to hurt anybody here. Which leads us to the second issue here, which lately there's been this allegation of racism at TriMet, specifically Merlot Garage. And those of us that have been here a while know that there are plenty of racists at TriMet. Okay, that's a known. Okay, and occasionally it's very overt, and some of these people are particularly ignorant and don't even have enough brains to know when to keep their mouth shut. And occasionally somebody who's aggrieved will actually take issue with it. So we had this little fray here with Hispanic, Latino, and a white driver who've gotten a little argument about speaking Spanish versus speaking English, and I guess it got hot and ended in a yelling match between the two drivers. And one of those, I guess one of the drivers involved went to the executive board member, and the other one went to the management. Now, I know one of them didn't want to get involved in any HR shit. You know, some people don't want to deal with that. You know, like we're adults. We can handle the real world. We don't need mommy, daddy, HR to protect us. And there are people that don't need HR to protect us. I consider myself one of them. I don't need HR to protect me. I mean, I've been abused by more people than just employees around here. I've been subject to lots of abuse. I'm used to it. I'm an adult. I can handle it. And a lot of people here, including one Hispanic who was involved in this situation, doesn't want HR. Like they say they're an adult and they can handle this, okay? And other people have a different point of view. They think that the other driver needs to be dressed down, and maybe he does need to be dressed down. But let me tell you this, no matter what the company would do, the racist is not going to stop being racist, okay? You know, my personal opinion is it's almost better to have it out in the open than to push it underneath the rug. Because you're not gonna change anybody's point of view here, okay? And it's too late. You've hired them, you've trained them, and they're here, okay? And that's the way it is. What are you doing? Go or stop or something. People that can't drive. So you're not gonna change the racist behavior, and there's no shortage of them here. I'm sorry to have to tell you that. But the nature of this company has been not. Well, I don't want to get into that, but. So it's turning into this big spiel, this whole big deal, because these two people got in an argument, and one of them made some comments about speak English. This is America, goddammit. And the Latino got really pissed, and we're tired of taking your shit. When good for him, and a lot of us said, you know, to us, good for you. You stood up to that fucker, man. And that's exactly what he should have done. He said, fuck you. And then they just wanted to let it go at that. Just stay away from me. And, you know, unfortunately, the other one, I guess, went to the management. So now it's in the management's hands. And, you know, that means we have our little HR investigation. Now we get the bureaucrats, and you know, the bureaucrats live for this. They live for this. This is what they live for. They don't have a job without it. You see, they love it. They eat it up. It's like, yeah, give us some disputes amongst operators so we can have our job. You know, we get a lot of money. We get $100,000 a year or whatever. Speaking of $100,000 a year, Michael Anderson has tweeted that Carolyn Young is retiring. Carolyn Young is on her way out of TriMet. She'll take a nice big fat pension with her, and she'll enjoy that. Probably she'll make more in pension than I make in wages here. Nobody's ever told us, nobody's ever found out what Fred Hanson's pension is worth. Nobody's told us what he actually got paid in his pension. I bet you it's plenty of mucho bucks. More than I'm making. Sucking on the tit of the public, you know. Anyway, those are the exciting, action-packed news from Merlot Garage. And this is just Merlot Garage, so you can imagine what else is going on in this company. All we do is have a snapshot of the Merlot Garage, and this is the smallest garage of all of them. And so you can imagine what else is happening around here, you know. You know, I'm sorry for the management that they've allowed their company to get out of their control and have created this mess that they have on their hands here, this never-ending mess of crazy things happening. Meanwhile, didn't Alan Morgan, the head of the training, just get some kind of award? I mean, isn't that always the way it works? No matter how bad you do, they award you for your efforts. Like those people, the security apparatus of 9/11, they were the people that were in charge of security before 9/11. They all got some kind of award for job well done. And this is after 9/11. In other words, they failed, complete failure at what they were doing. The powers that be decided that they should have an award anyway. We give you an award for your best effort, your great effort in doing security for us, even though that it was a miserable failure and 9/11 occurred. I mean, 9/11 wasn't really the brilliance of the hijackers. It really is more or less the incompetence of the security apparatus, unless the security apparatus, of course, knew about this and let it happen, which is a whole nother subject.